All right, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Broker to Broker podcast. I'm your host, Marc Summers. Today, very excited about this individual, as I'm excited about all of our guests. But this guy, he actually did something for me one time when I was speaking at Success Track and said, "Let me get up. I want to say something." And he got up there and killed it. But enough about me and my experiences with him. I want you guys to hear what he has to say. So please join us in welcoming Anthony Wheeler, owner and CEO of AIME Mortgage. Anthony, thanks for joining us today.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me, Mark.
No problem. All right. So as most people know, when I do these, I like to go into kind of like your history. How did you get started in this industry? And I know how it is because we spoke earlier, but this seems to be happening more and more as I talk to people. So Anthony, tell us how you got started in this industry. Give us your history.
Yeah. So me and my wife, we bought a house back in 2016. And at that time, we were both in college. So we were still trying to figure out if we really wanted to do the college stuff. And, one day we were having lunch and she was like, "Hey, maybe we should just get into real estate. I could be a realtor or something." So I was like, "Look, perfect, let's do it." So that same night I bought her the course and I was like, "Look, I need you to focus on doing this full time. Quit your job. I'll find a second job." So I ended up picking up a second job at Home Depot. And I was in the appliance department. I was just doing sales in the appliance department. So then what happened was, she started killing it. And then the loan officer who helped us buy the house called her and asked her if I would be interested in getting into mortgages. And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" And so I got licensed. That was back in September 2017. And, I kind of hit the ground running. I was in retail to start out with, I started off at Homebridge, and then I went to a company called Southeast Mortgage. I was there for like 2 years before I left to get into wholesale. And then once I got into wholesale, man, it was night and day different.
So tell me about that. Like from your experience. Now, when you got into wholesale, was that when you opened up AMP?
No, I worked for another company. I worked for a company called Home Lenders of Georgia. Learned a lot about wholesaling now, man. Like it was just, like I said, it was night and day different. I felt like I got the chains taken off me. Like I could do the things that I know were possible because it's like, when I was at the retail shop, it was like, you can only do what the company says you can do, right? Whatever programs they have, whatever options they have, whatever overlays they have, that's just kind of what we were selling 1% origination on every loan, right?
Wow.
1% higher interest rates and 1% origination on every loan. So it was like you had to like me in order to do a loan, because if you go talk to someone else, I'm always gonna be the more expensive option. So
yeah, what was like your big aha moment when you made that switch from retail to wholesale? Was it the amount that you got paid? Was it a specific deal? Was it the way everything was structured? Like what was your, like, I know you said it's night and day, but like what was your like one aha moment?
So I'll tell you this, right? So in 2019, right, I was at that retail shop from January to November. From November to December, I would say I probably made the same amount at the broker shop than I did the whole year at the retail shop. It wasn't that I was doing anything different. It was just now the buyers that I currently had approved or didn't, well, the buyers that I wasn't able to get approved, I was able to get them approved because we have more options. So it was just like, like the income went up, everything just went up. And, then 2020, as you guys know, COVID happened and then everybody got rich.
It was a weird time, but a fun time. I mean, you couldn't really meet with people, but nope. People were calling. You couldn't pick up your phone without getting some sort of refinance.
Exactly. Well, and then like I say, I was selling way higher rates. So when it came time to do the refinance, man, I knocked out all of my past clients in those 2 to 3 years that I had. And I would say 24 to 48 hours, quick phone calls. Listen, this is what it is. Send me a copy of your most recent mortgage statement. And I'm turning and burning. So then I was able to focus more on the purchase business. Like my mindset was I need to get these refis out of the way as fast as possible because I know everyone's going to focus on refis. So I need to be the guy that everyone's going to for the purchases. So kind of worked out that way.
That's kind of how you developed your business there then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And, around that time, there were a lot of things that were happening where, loans were taking forever to close. People couldn't do certain type of loans, the overlays that came into play. And I just picked up the phone, I always answer the phone. If you call me, I'm going to pick up. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, except for the guy that just called me. But, I always answer the phone. And so that was one of the things that helped me out too, was just, being consistent and being available. So since that happened, I'm still working with agents that I met during COVID, and just, it's just been great.
Well, walk me through that there, because, I think a lot of us, that are in our industry think like, okay, a realtor, I have to meet with them. I have to do this, you know what I mean? But we obviously couldn't meet during that time. So like, how did you captivate that business?
Just social media, right? Social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok wasn't around, or it might have been around, but I wasn't on it. But Facebook and Instagram, man. So what I did was I like, comment, share, send DMs, and then just pick up the phone and call and say, hey, because at that point in time, if I've been liking and commenting on your stuff for a few weeks or a month, and you're responding back to my comments, I'm not a stranger at that point. Like, who I am. You don't know me. We've never had a conversation. But if I say, hey, are you available to talk? I mean, you've been talking to me in the comment section. So, what's a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call just to kind of see if we connect? And like, I would say 90% of the agents that I work with, I've never met.
Really?
Like, never met. I never met. Like, just all of it is just phone calls. I mean, and I go to the closing, so a lot of them I've been meeting at the closing table, but majority of them I've never met in person. It's literally just been phone calls, and they refer me to other agents, and they all say the same thing. It's just, he's gonna pick up the phone. He's gonna pick up the phone. He's gonna try to make it work. If he can't make it work, he's gonna tell you he can't make it work. But if he tells you he can do it, it's gonna close. So
that's awesome. I absolutely love that. I mean, it just goes to show that you technically don't need the best CRM, even though we all recommend it. You know what I mean? Right. We all need these tools to help. But all of the successful people that I've had on this show, a lot of them, it's so simple. It's just doing it.
Yep. That is the thing, doing it. Like, a lot of people, I talk to a lot of loan officers, and, everyone has this great plan on what they need to be doing or what they could be doing differently. And I'm a really simple guy, just listen, just do it, right? Just send the messages, make the phone calls, like the post, because at the end of the day, if the agents is your target audience and they're constantly making content and they're posting content, there's your content. Share their content, tag them in the post when you share it. They're gonna 9 times out of 10, they're going to send you a DM, or they're gonna like that message, and then you just say, they're gonna say, thanks for sharing, no problem at all. Let me know how I can help. Don't be pushy. And then, when you do decide to reach out and give them a call, they're gonna respond to it because you've been supporting them all, this time. So
it's so simple yet so genius. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do all this hoopla stuff. I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, man, I swear that the last 3 or 4 guests that I've had on the show are like, and I like to think I'm the same way, just simple, just so simple. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So with that, so you grew your business. When did you start AMP Mortgage?
So I started AMP Mortgage in November of 2022. So, well, that was a great time, right? Rates went up to almost 8%.
It always seems to happen that way.
Yes. So, that's when I officially opened the doors in November 2022. But it was a learning experience because, at that point in time, I had to learn the process. I had to learn how to do everything on the fly. I left because I ended up leaving the retail bank to go work. The wholesale bank to go be a branch manager at a retail bank because I needed experience with management, and that wasn't a good move. So wasn't a
Hey,
good.
it happens. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, I did that, and then I ended up opening the brokerage in November of 2022, and just kind of hit the ground running. I didn't have time to market. I had to solely focus on trying to get some loans closed, so that way I can, you know, get a processor, do this, do that, and but it all worked out. It worked out. Closed my
So
first. Mhm.
no, tell me about AMP. You know what I mean? Like, what's the dynamics? Is it just you and a processor? Do you have loan officers underneath you? And where do
Yeah.
you want to take it?
Yeah, so right now we've got 5 loan officers. We've got a processor. Right now I'm using Hancock Processing. Shout out to Hancock Processing. But yeah, so it's just us. But the plan is growth, right? I'm focused on growing and just trying to get more loan officers into the door. I'm not just looking for bodies. I'm looking for people who actually want to work and learn the business. Or if you know the business, then figure out ways that we can help you grow your business. So, that's the plan. Ultimately, I want to, just be a bigger company, but, I want to grow correctly. I don't want to grow too fast because sometimes when you grow too fast, there are things that happen. So, again, growth it's slow growth, but it's growth nonetheless.
Yeah. So talk to me about this. So you have 5 other loan officers. Like, what's your day to day with them, or week to week? Like, what's your leadership style with them? Is it more or less like, hey, we're doing these weekly or daily trainings, or is it more or less like, kind of go do your own thing? I have the right people that are working for me.
Um, so it's kind of both actually, right? So I talk to my loan officers every day. Like whether it's me calling to check in, hey, how are things going? You got any things you're working on? I know you got the Jones file under contract. How's that going? Anything you need me to step in on? You want to run some ideas by me, or or whether it's just to say hi. We were doing weekly team meetings, but it's summertime. Some of them have kids, and it's just making sure the dynamics work with everybody. But we communicate a lot. Always going over loan scenarios and helping with leads and just structuring files. Just trying to make myself as available as possible because I understand that even though we have resources, whether it's the account executives or the you got the guidelines on the websites and all of those things, sometimes it's still good to just have that one-on-one conversation to kind of go over things, figure out a way to structure a file or save a file.
Well, speaking of saving files, when I spoke to you, you said that you've been really busy lately,
Mm-hmm.
just saving deals. So talk to me about that. Where do they come from? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the common theme that you see?
So the common thing that I've been noticing is just one is either communication, like they can't get in contact with the loan officer, or two, the deal's falling apart because there was something that may have been missed on the front end or something that came up during underwriting, and they just don't have a solution to get it closed. And I'm an out of the box thinker, so I just again, but it goes back to whenever someone reaches out, I always immediately pick up the phone and let's talk it out. And like I would say, if I closed 15 loans last month and 10 of them were referred to me because it was falling apart, the ones that came my way closed. We got a solution. There's always a solution unless there's not a solution. And if there's not a solution, then they probably should have been under contract in the first place. But if there's a way to make it work, we'll figure out a way to make it work. So and it's just understanding the guidelines, man. That's what it is. Understanding the guidelines, knowing that it's all based on it's your interpretation of the guideline. Now, that's what somebody told me a long time ago, and I've been running with that.
I interpret it this way, so let's get it through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you save those deals, all right. So like you use the example of maybe 10 of the 15 loans you got last month
Yep.
were from problems, like a real estate agent reaching out to you. So after you get them closed, how do you cultivate that relationship even more? Like what do you do in that
Oh,
situation?
well, no. So I'll call the agent and say, hey, man, listen, thanks for sending it over. Listen, I don't know what happened. I don't know how you guys got there, but I'm glad you were able to send it my way and we were able to get it done. Look, man, if there's anything else you need, just let me know. I'm always available. Just the regular stuff. I don't bash the other loan officer. Things happen. It's just the business, right? Things happen. But I always make sure that I'm following them on social, and then I stay connected with them that way. Like I say, I don't want to be too pushy, but I know how to stay in contact with you without staying in contact with you. So like I got I got referred. I got a loan referred to me from a builder's agent who I closed a loan with. She referred me to someone in Texas, right? Because I had announced I'm licensed in Texas, and she referred me to another subdivision in Texas where the deal was falling apart. And then so I got that loan closed, and that was 2 weeks ago, and that on-site agent has already sent me like 2 other deals that they had issues with. But again, I've only spoken with her maybe 3 times after it closed, but that was just me checking in, or liking her post on Facebook and Instagram and commenting, stuff like that. Just stay on top of mind.
That's crazy. It's so simple. It can be so simple.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. So with that, obviously they trust you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Your we'll call it your referral partners trust you. Your
Mhm.
clients trust you.
Yep.
What are some things that you maybe do besides pick up the phone all the time, right? Which is phenomenal.
Yep.
That's a big buzz through our industry, is just pick up the damn phone. But like, what are some other things you do to gain that trust, to keep that trust, and so they keep coming back, and it's just a cycle for you?
I would say over communicate and do what you say you can do, right? What I do is, let's say I send a pre-approval letter to the agent, and I say, hey, listen, this is what it is, right? This is how we're going to get the loan closed, right? I don't foresee any issues. Or if there are, or if it's a sticky file, I'm going to let them know, hey, listen, this is a little sticky. We probably have to go manual, or we don't have to go manual. But if we do have to go manual, then these are the things that are going to be the issue. So I'm telling them everything they need to know up front, so there are no surprises as we go along through the process. So if they want to move forward with this, knowing the risk, then we're all on the same page. And if it works great. If we have to adjust, we have to adjust. But at that point, we were all aware of what was going on. So I'm being truthful up front, telling them what it is, how we can get it done, and they just love it, man. Just being honest. Like, I get a lot of times the agents and the clients say that it doesn't feel like a business transaction. It feels like there's a friend helping them through something. And I think
Right.
that's one of the bigger things for me.
No, I mean, if that's the feeling, like a friend's just helping me out, I mean, you have clients for life.
Yeah.
You absolutely have clients for life. So our industry is shifting quite a bit right now. The last month or two have been a little bit crazy.
Right.
At the time of this recording, the week before, they said interest rates are going down. They cut the Fed interest rate, even though we know we've been preaching it's not an exact correlation, but there's obviously like our industry is shifting and changing.
Yep.
So like, what do you focus on the most, or like what's one of the big themes out there right now that you're kind of sinking your teeth into by saying, oh, this is going to be good, so I'm going to do XYZ? I know that's kind of a vague statement there, but put it this way: there's changes in our industry. How do you keep on top of them, and what do you focus on?
Knowledge, man. Just trying to be the expert at whatever those changes are, whether it's, understanding that the rates aren't necessarily going down like they said they were, but understanding that the consumer doesn't know that. So again, following up with as many people as I can, reaching out to my referral partners, letting them know, like, hey, this is a great time to reach out to your past clients. The same things I would tell my loan officers, the same things I'm going to tell the realtors, because whether it doesn't matter if they are able to get a refinance over to me or not, it's still a connection that they're able to make, because I'm letting them know, like, hey, your buyer, your seller could be ready to move. This may be a buy and sell situation for you, because they were waiting on the rates to come down. So just making sure that everyone around me is informed, and getting that information out to the public, so that way we can continue to look like the experts on that topic.
That's awesome. Yep. Just always be the expert. People always come to you. You know what I mean? And one thing that I do is, like, maybe I lose a deal, for various reasons.
Yeah,
I will
absolutely.
literally tell that person, hey, I get it. Like they're beating me in this product, or they're beating me here. And I completely understand. But I can still review docs for you. I'll review everything and kind of show you. I'm not going to be a shit disturber, but just so you understand it, and people love it. And I just did that for actually someone who moved into my neighborhood, and then they just referred me their daughter, even though I didn't close their loan.
Right, because again, right, everybody you talk to is a potential client. It doesn't matter if you close their loan or not. They're always a potential client. They're going to be a referral source for you. You just have to understand that, and you clearly understand it. It doesn't matter if you close the loan, because hey, just because I didn't do your loan doesn't mean you don't have a family member or a friend that that may be in a different situation. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about this, Anthony, real quick. I know you're a big believer in AIM and its movement and
yes.
what we do. So, from your eyes, what is AIM to you, or what are some experiences you've had with AIM that have kind of shaped and changed the way you do business?
Yeah, man. AIM is a great partner to have, man. It's like you guys come through. So like, it just being there, for the events, or not only that, um, what is it called, man? When I had a situation where I needed to get in contact
Oh,
with some
escalations?
escalations, man. Like, listen, those escalations are clutch. Like legit. Like if you need something and you're not and you're working with banks who aren't partnering with AIM, I mean, listen, it's a whole thing. And it really, I will say this too, it really made me go back and look at who we were partnering with, because like I say, if the bank isn't partnered with AIM, there's a reason for that, right? I know AIM has their strict rules, and you can't go after our borrowers and all of the things. And if they're not partnered with AIM, I know that there's something going on behind the scenes that you need to be aware of. So, I learned that firsthand. If you're not going to Fuse, you should definitely look into going to Fuse. I've been going to Fuse for a few years now. It's lots of great information, lots of great vendors. It's yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's talk about Fuse here real fast. It's I think we're about 30 days away from it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean, for the first like event day.
Yep.
So like when you went to Fuse, like what was your feeling of it? Was it what you expected, or what was like maybe one of your favorite moments at any of the Fuses that you've been to?
I would say, man, the connections that I made at Fuse. I made a lot of connections at Fuse. Getting to meet some of the account executives in person, hearing the speakers, getting the with those vendors that you guys bring to Fuse, like really helped my business out. Understanding things that I didn't. There are vendors that you guys bring to Fuse that that have things that I never thought about, and being able to make those connections and implement them into the business really helps out. So, I would say that.
Yeah, no, it's funny because even when I walk through, we call it the sponsorship room. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? When I walk through that sponsorship room, and I usually just go up to everyone, thank them for coming.
Yep.
But then there's some I don't even know what they do. Then they give me a demo, and I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. Like I
Yeah.
didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I want to get across to people about Fuse is when you go into that sponsorship room, first off, you need to go in there, right?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of good people in there. They're not like salesy people. Yes, they want you to buy their product or whatever it is, or use them as a lender. But at the same time, it's more of like this soft approach,
Yep.
and it's more of a relationship building. I mean, did you get the same thing from that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I mean, one of the vendors, I think it might have been at Fuse. I know it was Gold Star, but I connected with them, man, and like I have weekly conversations with their VP. Like it's just, and I met him at Fuse, so
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. You'll meet great people out here, especially when you're going to these type of events.
Yeah, no, and the other thing I think you hit the nail on the head, not only with AIM but with Fuse in general, is the community side of things. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like we always, and for people that are listening right now,
Mhm.
don't be afraid to come to Fuse. Even if you don't know anyone, you're going to meet 10, 20, 30, 40 people that you
Yes.
will connect with right away, and they will help you grow your business.
Absolutely. And if you don't know anybody, guys, I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there.
That's what everyone says. They're like, "Oh, just point me to someone." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's been times where I'll see someone sitting by themselves, and I just go up and talk to them, and hey, I'll hang out with you for a bit, and then other people see people sitting down by themselves, and they just go up. It's truly a family community,
Yes.
because there's so much business out there to get. We're not each other's competitors right now. I'm sorry, we're not.
We're not. Like I help loan officers that don't work for me. Like, just it is what it is, man. Like let's figure it out. This is how we support our families. So I get it.
Absolutely. It's like the escalation piece. Like I handle a lot of the escalations. Our team does a phenomenal job. There's a
Yes.
lot of times I have to hop in there
Hmm.
and it's like, man, I just helped make this guy X amount of money or this guy or gal, and I didn't get anything, whatever, you know what I mean? But I love it. I don't
Yeah.
look at it from that standpoint of, oh, I
Mhm.
didn't get any part of that. It was cool. I got to help someone out. And I think that's what this whole community has taken on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Perfect. So, Anthony, I got you for like 2 more minutes here. Okay. Let's say I've said this time and time again, but
Mhm.
it's Fuse is coming around the corner. It is 30 days away. You
Yep.
are going. So I'm going to use this example again.
Okay.
You have the main stage at Fuse. You're the last speaker,
Okay.
and you get to tell or talk to all the brokers that are going to be there and all the processors, all the loan officers, and
Okay.
you can give them one piece of advice. And you have the stage for a minute. What are you telling them?
I'm gonna tell them to. I'm just gonna tell everybody to over communicate, be a master at your craft, because at the end of the day, you're the professional. That's why they come to you. Um, whether you're communicating to the client, whether you're communicating to the agent, your referral partner, over communicate, because there's a big lack of communication in our industry, and I don't know why, but yeah, over communicate, man. You guys have the information. You guys know what it is. Communicate, communicate, communicate. I promise you, you will notice a difference, because the faster you can get the information over to whoever you're getting it to, the quicker it's off your plate. Everyone's aware of what's going on, whether it's good news or bad news. So yeah, just over communicate. I promise you. I promise you.
That's that's awesome. It's once again so simple yet so effective. So Anthony, man, hey, I really appreciate your time. Joining us today.
Mhm.
You've always been a great voice for our community. Like I told everyone, the little story is he got up in front of a success track class. It probably had over 200 people in it, and just took the microphone and sat there and talked about AIME for like 3 to 5 minutes, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
So that's the type of person you are, and Anthony, I appreciate you, and thanks for joining us today.
no problem at all. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, brokers, if you want to catch up on all of our past podcast episodes, as well as other AIME Network podcasts, please head over to aimgroup.com/broker to broker. You can also listen and watch all AIME Network podcast episodes on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast. If you're on YouTube, our handle is at AIME National for our great wholesale content. So, everyone else, do me a favor, rate the podcast, leave a review, download it, do whatever you got to do. It helps to spread the word and provide to the world that brokers are best. And Anthony, you're one of them, my friend.
Thank you.